So in this video, we are going to learn this annotation toolbar. So the same we will get over here. Okay, so if you just look out the tabs available over here at the topmost right corner. Right now we are in home tab. Likewise to the next we have annotation over there. So if I just click over there, you will see the same options we will get over there like this. Okay, and if I just click over the home tab, again the annotation toolbar is going to be visible over here. Okay, now to understand what is meant by annotation and which are the tools we have over there, first of all we need to draw some basic construction. So with the help of that we can easily understand how we are going to declare the dimensions for the linear construction, how we are going to measure the inclination, how we can have a toggle dimensions. Okay, so if I just click over this drop down menu, you can see these are the options we have over there. So the first option we have linear measurement, the second option we have align measurement, again angular measurement, we can measure the length of arc, again we can have a radius value of drawn circle, similarly we can measure the diameter, again we can find the coordinates for geometry that we have created before, and again at the end we will just discuss what is meant by jogged dimensions. Okay, so this is nothing but the annotation we have over here, and below this if I just click over here for the drop down menu, this is nothing but the leader dimension. So many times we need to give dimension with respect to drawn circle outside that geometry, so in that case we are going to prefer this leader dimensions. Again to the next we can add a leader dimension to the previously existing leader line, we can remove as well. This is nothing but the aligned leader dimension lines. So we will just go through all these options available over there in a detail one by one, and over here you can see we have one text option over there. So many times we need to define what constructions we have completed below this drawn geometry. So while declaring that we need some text over there. Okay, so that we can have by means of two options. The first option is that multi-line text. So by name itself we come to know that whenever we want to draw features by declaring some sentences over there for the multiple lines, in that we can go with this multi-line text. Again when we require only a single text line, in that case we will just prefer this single text line over there. Okay, I will just deep dive in detail by constructing some basic geometries over this screen. Now with respect to these dimensions I will just draw one line so that we can give one linear dimension. Again I will draw one inclined surface so that we can have one aligned dimensions over there. Again I will draw one angular surface so that we can measure the inclinations that we have with respect to that drawn component. So let's start it with this. Now let me select this line command. Okay, now I am not going to draw a rectangle for the A3 size. Lately I am going to use any point over this workspace, because we are going to understand how we are going to use these linear dimensions, inclined surfaces, or the jogged dimensions. Now let me select any one of the point over this workspace. Now just click over there. Okay, now to have a proper horizontal line we need to turn on this ortho mode command. So just click on that so that we can have exactly horizontal line over there. Now let me draw one line for this much dimension. Now let me click over here. Okay, now once I click on that, just press tab button and just mention 0 degree inclination. Now you can see we have one line over the screen. Okay, now if I just zoom it, now you can clearly see we have drawn one line over there. Okay, now let me delete this extra portion that I have drawn. Okay, now again I will draw one inclined surface so that we can measure the inclinations with respect to this horizontal line. Now let me turn off this ortho mode command so that we can have inclined line over there. Now just press enter button to come out of this selected polyline command. Again let me select one line command so that we can give dimension with respect to these inclined surfaces. Okay, so I am going to draw all this construction by approximate dimensions, and that we are going to measure later on. So while constructing the given geometries, we can draw all those construction by preferring the given dimensions as well. Okay, but for our understanding, we are going to just complete all this construction randomly. Okay, now let me draw one circle as well. Now suppose this with the center point, and we have one circle over here. again I will complete another circle so that we can measure diameter as well, like this. Okay, now let me draw one arc so that we can have one arc by referring the 3 points over the screen. Suppose this will be the first point, second point and third point. Okay, now once we're done with this basic features over the screen, we will just go through this annotation. Okay, now I will describe one by one how we are going to measure the linear dimension. So just select this first option. Now in that case we are going to measure length for this drawn line. Okay, now let me zoom this portion first, like this. So I will select this point as well as this point. Now I will move my cursor in upward direction and just click over there. Now you can see we have dimensions for that line, but right now it is not visible. Now how we are going to modify those dimensions, that I will tell you. If you just look out over the center over here, okay, so we have dimensions over there, but it is not visible right now. So that we can modify by going to this annotation option we have over here. Okay, now you will see another window or the tab over here. So just click on this downward arrow. Okay, so just click on it. You will see another window over the screen. In that you have to go with this modify option. Okay, so just click on that. Another window will get pop up over the screen. Now once we click on that, another window will get pop up over the screen. Okay, now here you can see we have one text option over there. Okay, so right now whatever the dimensions we have, it is not visible properly, so that dimensions we can modify over here. Okay, now let me start with this first option. Now this is nothing but the lines. So whatever the dimensions we are going to provide, we are going to refer some lines over there, so we can change the type of line as well. So this is nothing but the first option with respect to the color that we are going to prefer. So by default we are going to use this by block or the by layer. Okay, now let me keep add as it is. Now this is nothing but the line type. So most of the time we need to define the dimensions with respect to continuous line. Okay, so that is nothing but the projection lines as well. So you can go with this continuous line as well. Okay, so that we can have by defining this layer or the block as well. So that we will discuss in detail later on in another video. Now let me select this as it is. Now here you can change the line weight. Okay, so we can increase the line weight as well. So you can see the various options we have over here. Okay, so just go with the default option with respect to we can give the dimensions. Now this is nothing but the baseline spacing. Now this is nothing but the dimension with respect to this baseline. So at what distance we are going to provide that dimensions, that you can mention over here. Suppose I want a dimension above the line at a distance of 10 mm, so that you can mention over here. Okay, now the next option we have symbols and arrows. Now if we just look out for the arrowheads, these are the options we have. Either we can go with the closed field arrowheads, or we can go with the closed blank arrowheads, or closed option we can show the dot lines as well. So mostly we are going to prefer this closed field arrows. Okay, so that we can have a proper visualization for the arrowheads. So just keep this as it is. Now here you can change the arrowhead size. So right now we have 2.5. Now let me change this to the 10 mm. Okay, now later on we are going to define the text height. So to change that we can go with this option over here. Okay, now here we will go with the annotation, so this option will get enabled. So again there you can mention the text height. Now this is nothing but the fits. Okay, so this is not related to our video, so that I will describe later on when we require it. Now this is nothing but the primary units. So already we have gone through how we are going to set the units. Okay, initially. So here you have to go with this decimal option and keep this precision equals to 0.0. Okay, now this is nothing but the decimal separator. So we can have a separator as a dot, okay, or the comma or the space. So mostly we are preferring this dot as a period over there, and just click over this OK option. Now you can see all the modifications over this preview window. Now once I close this, you can see the change over the screen. So initially it is very small. Okay, now again if just zoom out, you can see that comma separation is replaced by this dot. Okay, now again if I just modify it for the text height, just go with this. Now instead of 10, I will enter 20 value over there and just click OK button. Now close. Now you can see that dimension is properly visible. Okay, so like this you can modify these arrowheads as well. So right now these arrowheads are very small, so again that we can modify. So again just go with this drop down arrow, go to this modify option, again symbols and arrow. Here you can define the arrowhead size. Again if I just enter 20 over there and click over this OK option, now you can see the arrowheads are changed. Okay, so this is all about doing the modification with respect to this given annotation. Okay, now let me go with this home option so that we can proceed further to measure these inclinations as well. Now again just click over this drop down menu. So the next option we have angle measurement. Okay, so just click on it. What is the message we have? Select arc or circle or a line so that we can measure the inclination with respect to these three constructions. Now let me select this line and this line. Now you can see we have inclinations over there 14 degrees. Okay, now again to have a dimension with respect to this align line, we have option as a align over there. Okay, so just select it. Now again just pick these two corner points. With respect to that we can have align dimensions over there. Now what is the difference between this linear and align? If I just measure the same by means of linear dimension, again I am going to pick the same dimension over here. Now you can see the change. Okay, so in case of linear it will go on measuring with respect to this horizontal surface. Okay, but in case of aligned surface it is going to measure with respect to that drawn inclined line. Okay, so this is the difference between this linear measurement as well as this aligned measurement. Now the next option we have arc length. So many times we need to measure the arc length, okay, that we have drawn. So just go with this option, select that arc. Now you can see we are able to mention the arc length over there. Either you can mention that arc length, okay, underneath that arc, or you can mention that arc length above this arc as well. Now you can see the symbol for it. Okay, so before this dimension we have one arc symbol over there, which signifies that we have this arc length equals to 1593. Okay, hope it is clear to you. Okay, now let me go with the next option, radius measurement. So just click on it, just select that circle or the arc. It will give us radius value for that circle. Okay, we can measure the radius value for this arc as well. If I just again select this previous command, just select this arc, you can see I am able to measure the radius value of that arc as well. It is not a compulsion to have a complete circle to have the radius value. We can measure the radius value for the arc as well. Now if we just look out the next option or this drop down menu, we can measure the diameter of this circle as well. Now you can see we can extend this line as well, and you can just pick a point over the workspace where we want to show that dimension. So I am going to pick this point so that we can have proper dimensions over there for that drawn circle. Okay, now this is nothing but the phi symbol, which signifies us we have a phi of 693, which is nothing but the diameter. Okay, if we just look out the suffix with respect to this measurement, we have r over there, which is nothing but the radial value. Okay, so r229 means we have a radius of 229. So this is nothing but the diameter value. So with respect to suffix, we have to mention those dimensions. Okay, now we will discuss this next option, leader line. So if I just click over this drop down menu, we have these options over there. Now to understand these options in a better way, let me draw two circles once again. Okay, now let me zoom this portion. Now leader lines are nothing but the lines which will signify us the dimensions with respect to this drawn feature outside this geometry. Okay, so these are nothing but the leader line. So if I just go with the first option and if I hold my cursor over this option, another brief introductory window will get pop up over the screen. Over there you can read out what is going to be created by means of this leader option. So just select it. Now what is the instruction we have over the screen? specify leader arrowhead location. Okay, so it's nothing but the location that we want to select, and with respect to that the arrowhead is going to be created like this. Okay, now you can see, if I just zoom it, you can able to see that we have one arrowhead over there. Okay, with respect to that selected point. Now the next instruction we have specify leader landing location. Now suppose I want to show it somewhat over here, so just pick that point and click once over there. Okay, now you can see one blink cursor is enabled over the screen. So there you can either mention the radius value or the diameter value. Okay, now suppose I am going to mention a radius value of R50. Okay, so just type it over there. That particular dimensions are going to be shown by a leader line. Suppose I want to mention a diameter value, so I can just simply type a dia of 100 mm like this, or you can use the symbol pi over there. Okay, so it's nothing but the leader line dimensions. So I will just prefer radii of 15. Okay, now to come out of this, just press escape button like this. Okay, so by this way we can mention the leader dimensions over there. Now the next option is nothing but the add leader line. So if I hold my cursor over there, you can see I am able to use the same leader line that I have constructed previously to the another feature as well. Okay, now if I just click over there, it will ask select a multi leader. Now suppose this leader line I want to add to the another object, so I can prefer the same leader line to this object as well like this. Again I can move this leader line with respect to another object like this, and just press escape button or enter. So the same radii 50 will shown for this circle as well as for this circle. Okay, so this is nothing but the add leader line. Hope it is clear to you. Now the next option we have remove leader line. So as we have added this leader line, in a similar way we can remove these leader lines as well. So just select it and just select a leader line that we want to remove and press enter button. Okay, again we can select this line as well and press enter button. So all these previously added leader lines are gone now. Okay, now if you just look out over these options, we have the coordinate measurement option as well as this jogged dimension option over there. Okay, now to understand this coordinate measurement, let me draw one circle over here with respect to this xy. Okay, like this. And if I just go with this coordinate measurement option, just select it and select a feature to which we want to measure the coordinates. So just click over here. Now you can see we have the coordinates with respect to x and y. Okay, so this point we have at a distance of 530.3 with respect to user coordinate system along the x and y axis. Okay, again we can click over here and the same coordinate we will have over this workspace. Okay, now to have a better understanding of this jogged dimension, let me zoom this arc and select this jogged dimension. So just select this option. We have an instruction over the screen, select arc or circle. So this dimension method we are going to prefer mostly for the arc and circle. Now in this case we are going to select this arc. Okay, again the next instruction we have specify center location of override. So we can define any point as a center point, and with respect to that we can just show our jog dimensions like this. Okay, so this kind of dimensions we are going to use for the large dimensions. So many times over the workspace we are unable to show all those dimensions, so that we can show by means of this jog dimensions as well. Now once I click over here, now the next option is we can move this jog line. So by our preference we can select that location and just click over there. So that particular dimension is going to be fixed for this work surface. Now you can see we have a radius of 922.2. That same dimensions already we have measured over here by means of radius option. Okay, so the same dimensions we will get over there, but the method of defining that radius value is different. In a previous case we are just dealing with this radius measurement, and in this case we are measuring the radius by means of jogged dimensions. Okay, now to understand the more options available in annotation, Now let me press this annotation tab. Now once I click over there, you can see we have another tab over there, and if I just click over this drop down menu, these are the options we will see over there. Okay, so if I just hold my cursor over here, you can see I am able to show the center mark for the drawn circle. Okay, so if I just select this option and just click over this circle, you can see we are able to see this center. Okay, again if I just click over this drop down menu, the next option we have oblique dimensions. So while dealing with the three-dimensional constructions, we are going to draw all these lines with respect to 30-degree inclination. So in that case, instead of just measuring that inclined surface, we have to align those given dimensions with respect to this 30-degree inclined line. So that we can have by means of this oblique dimensions. Okay, now let me explain this. So just select this oblique dimension. Now just select this oblique line and press escape button. Now let me select this. Okay, now to understand this oblique dimension in a better way, now let me measure these aligned dimensions with respect to this drawn line like this. Now you can see we have a dimension parallel to this inclined line. But if you just observe carefully, we have these projection lines, okay, with respect to this selected line at an angle 90 degree. So while mentioning the dimension in three-dimensional view, this dimension line must be in line with this surface. Now to have that line in line with this surface, we have one option over here as a oblique dimension. So just select that dimension and select this and press enter button. And it will ask us what is the oblique angle. Now in this case, we are going to define this dimension with respect to this inclined line. And that we have at an angle 30 degree with respect to this horizontal line over here. So if we just count this total inclination with respect to horizontal line, the total inclination we have 180 with respect to horizontal line. And if we just subtract this 30 degree inclination, we will get 150 degree inclination over there. So that value we have to enter over here and just press enter button. Now you can see the change. This dimension is going to in line with this preferred line. Now to understand the next options available over here. Now this option is nothing but the left justify. So as per the diagram, you will come to know that initially we have the given dimension exactly at the center. And if we just select this left justify, the center dimensions are going to be shifted to the left side. So just select this and select the dimension. Now you can see that dimension is shifted to the left side. Again, if I just go with the next option over here, again we can shift that left dimension to the center by clicking over there. Now you can see the change. Likewise, we can shift the given dimension to the extreme right corner as well, like this. Okay, so these are the modifications options we have over there. So the last option we have override. So if I just click over this override option and select this option, if I just select this object, you can see the change. Okay, it will get override to the previous one. Okay, now the remaining option in this annotation is nothing but the text angle. So we can give the text angle as well. So if I just go with this, select the dimension, and here you can mention the inclination. Suppose I want this dimension at an angle 30 degree. So just enter that angle and press enter button. Now you can see we have that dimension at an angle 30 degree. Okay, so by this way we can cover the dimensions by means of this annotation option we have in AutoCAD. Now the remaining thing is that how to use this multi-line text as well as this single line text. So that we will cover during our next video lecture. Thank you.